Hey, Mark Warnke, they call me the goat guy. If you're that person that's getting ready to help your doe have a baby, you're going down that road of goat ownership now where you're having kids and you've done the breeding and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to show you how I set up my birthing stalls and what are the important components to do that. So we're going to help you out with that right now. Now, for our YouTube channel, what we try to do is just some helpful hints with raising goats and all that fun stuff. If you're getting ready for babies and your does are pregnant, a lot of babies are going to be born January, February, March. If you're down south, usually they get born a little sooner. If you're up here where I'm on a mountain of snow still, I try to not have babies till March or April. But this is my kidding stall, and this may be something that you might getting ready for. So when you're thinking about kidding, you want to think about a few different things. Number one is you want to be able to have a small enough area where if your goat is not super tame, that you want to be able to help her give birth and not be chasing her all over the place. So I like the size of this. Dimensions on this is about 12 feet long by about 8 feet wide. And it has a roof, and here's Stinky to steal the show like always. So it has a roof, we have a light, and then we also have electrical plug-in. We use this in the off season also as an isolation pen for goats that we're trying to help through particular dilemmas. Thorn right now has so a little bit of hoof rot issues, and so we got that opened up, we got it treated, but now I want him in a stall where he's completely dry and not standing in any muck and give that chance to heal up. So, but as far as going back to the kidding, so it's nice to have around in general, but going back to the kidding side of things, we wanted light, we wanted power, and the reason we wanted light and power was so that if we needed tank heaters or we needed the light heat or the heat lamps, we can hang those, and we hang those in the corner, and then we plug those in there, and then we have two side by side. So also, if you got a goat in here and you want to isolate it, you can put a goat on the other side and they don't have to be alone, which is a really critical component to keeping goats, is always keeping them together. And so that allows for that, and I like that part of what we did. And then the other key component is electricity for a baby monitor. Now the baby monitors are great, and you want to think about it that their distance that they'll carry, I've found to be about 75 to 100 yards. So from the house, we're about probably 60 yards, and it comes into the basement. So I wanted to locate it as close as I could, mainly so that baby monitor would help me to be able to keep track of the does when they're giving birth. Now the nice thing about a baby monitor is you can see that sits on a swivel. It actually pans back and forth. So from in the house, I can push and I can make it pan, and I can see both pins. So I can check on the doe and see how she looks at night. It also has like infrared or whatever it is, like night vision. So I can actually see them at night and know, kind of where they're at and how they're doing. And then the last thing is it has a volume, and that's the most critical. If I had to have just one thing, I just want to be able to, during the night when I'm asleep, listen for the doe, because does almost never have babies quietly. They're always making noise, and they'll breathe heavy, they'll bleat a lot. When they're pushing, they're super loud. And so as long as you have something that's listening to your does from the inside of the house during kidding season, you'll be able to be woken up by their sounds that they're having a baby and be able to go and help them. So key components, once again, the kidding monitor, the baby monitor, electricity, light, the ability to have electricity for a heat lamp, individual safe stalls that are side by side so that you can isolate two but still have them together, and then good nice bedding and the capability to access it, and this is where they're going to raise their baby for a couple of days and stuff as well, so you keep them away from the herd, and this system has worked really nicely. Now if you want to learn things distinctly and you find yourself, you're that new goat owner that's just learning about goats, you're going to want to have this continuing education, and stuff like this I do all the time, and I let you look over the shoulder as I'm helping goats give birth and all that sort of thing. So if you're somebody that's getting ready to help a goat have its baby for its first time and you're just preparing the space, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get the birthing course. We're going to take you from everything from breeding clear to early care for the babies, how to handle difficult births, how to handle all the birthing positioning situations that you can get into. And please, 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 please remember, of all my courses, this is the one that I ask people to get the most, because nothing will be more heartbreaking at 2 o'clock in the morning when you have a doe that the baby's stuck and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to take care of her, and nobody's coming to your house to help you out. If you think the vet's going to show up at 2 a.m. to help you have that goat have a baby, they are not. You are going to potentially lose one or the other or both. Please know what you're doing. Please educate yourself. Please get the How to Help a Goat Have a Baby course. It is really, really critical for you and for your goat. Things like kidding stalls. You don't have to do stuff like this, but knowing how to do stuff like this is so critical for the success of your doe and you and your experience and your family. And it involves babies. It's really an emotional thing. Make sure you know everything you need to know. So I hope you find that helpful. Mark Warnke, the Goat Guy, signing out.